Good evening everyone, welcome to Daily News Analysis. Today we are going to see certain topics from the newspaper which are important for us in the UPSC preparation. Okay, so today we have lot of topics and articles we are going to see one by one. You will get this PDF in the description box, as well as you can scan this QR code and join our Telegram channel to get the PDF. Okay, chaliye, let's start. So today we have around 7 topics. Okay, we will be seeing one by one. The first one is about the retail inflation. Okay, right now in April we would be able to understand April's inflation have been gone little high, slightly high because of the conflict of West Asia. Okay, so the problem here is about inflation should be in the control. Here we have observed certain increase in the inflation and how it is going to impact on us. Okay, so directly as it is going to impact in our economy paper, we are going to see in the, it is going to be dealing in the GS3 paper. Okay, then when it comes to the second one, human wild conflict zones, again a matter of GS3 paper where our ecological problems, okay, the disaster management, sometimes disaster management also cover this kind of wildlife and human conflict as well, because we are, good evening Rishi, good evening Ashok, and good evening Venkatri. Okay, so we are, this is important for us in certain ways, like how I said, like disaster management is also included in this, because we are losing the life because of animal attacks and lots and lots of economical loss when it comes to the agriculture, when wildlife animals are coming in, wild animals and everything are coming and attacking our crops. Okay, so why this conflict is between humankind and the animals, and what are all the infrastructure things that we have to institutional things that we have to focus on, all these things we are going to see. Clear? So it is for us important in the GS3 and as well as GS2 to like somewhere or the other the framework of the rules, and also many things regarding the governance and also the structuring of the policies have to be done. India is having certain schemes also to cover up all these things, but still we will be seeing everything one by one. Okay. Then the third one is about data and injustice. Data and justice. My bad. So this editorial is basically about this editorial is basically talking about the advantages and disadvantages of acquiring AI and the digital things in our judiciary system. Already we have 2 different AI tools and also AI operative things in judiciary. So along with that we are bringing 2 more new things. Okay, one case one data, like that. So this editorial basically talks about like how important the AI's presence and how it should be working. Okay, rather than taking the complete decision making things, it should be working upon only as a efficiency improving tool. Okay, so that we are going to see what are all the advantages, disadvantages, what are all the earlier initiatives and what is the new initiatives. Okay, how it is going to helpful, all these things we are going to see here. So it is directly going to impact on our GS2 paper polity. Okay, and mostly this editorial is basically upon how it is helping the governance, okay, the judiciary, rather than we are not going too much technical into the AI systems. Okay, so that is why it is GS2 not GS3. Okay, the fourth one is about water governance. So this article, this content is basically upon how India's infrastructure and the institutional governance gap, that is making India to face all those water crises. We are going to see what is the major issue and what can be done. So again it is comes under GS2 paper, because the water governance, you know, so how we are going to implement the schemes, what are all the infrastructural plans that we have to adopt, all these things we are going to discuss here. So it is important for us in GS2 paper. Clear? Then the fifth one is about the workers population ratio. So this shows how the population is being engaged in the employment. Okay, how the women are participating, how men are participating, rural and urban workforce participation ratio, and also if there is any increase, decrease, what is the study, and all these things we are going, reasons for fall and the growth, all these things we are going to see here. Okay, here you can see you can use the datas and the constructive things for your GS1 paper society when it comes to women workforce and everything. Okay, and apart from that, the gender divide, gender gap, all these things you can use in your GS1 paper. Okay, then the sixth one is about the BRICS meet. So China, India is chairing the BRICS this time, but China couldn't attend it, and they are stating the reasons because of certain visits and everything. We are having it. So we are going to see what is BRICS, the members slightly, and what is the objective, and why it is important for having the unity between BRICS inside the BRICS. Okay, so these are all the things we are going to see here. So it is important for us in the GS2 paper IR perspective. Okay, this last one comes for the procedure of appointing the CBI director. Generally, this article picture, if you see, okay, so that will be a comment by whom? The Rahul Gandhi, leader of opposition party. We are not going into the political terms, we are just going to see the static part, how a general CBI person has been appointed. Okay, clear till now? This is what important for us. So please dhyan rakhiye, and if you are able to make the notes side by side, please do it. Okay. Okay, first one, pricey food dining out push retail inflation to 13-month high of 3.5%. So which is saying that, okay, here we have to notice that our price inflation, okay, retail inflation. First understand what is retail inflation. Okay, the retail inflation is the smaller goods. Okay, okay, I'm good, Venkatari. Thank you so much. Okay, so now first we are going to see what is retail inflation. Retail inflation is nothing but end consumer, okay, the person who is intaking or using the final product, who are paying money for that particular product. Okay, if I'm buying this pen, okay, this stylus I'm buying, and what kind of what amount I'm going to pay for it. So the retail inflation is about the end consumer who's the differences in the price, the rise in the price of the rise in the price of the product paid by the end consumer. Okay, I'm going to use it finally, right? So I'm the end consumer. So how much rupees I was giving earlier for this stylus, and now how much I'm paying. So the differences, the growth differences in the price is called retail inflation. To be crisp, rise in the price of a commodity. Okay, so that is retail inflation. Inflation we all know, right? So same product, same quantity, but the price will be higher. So that is inflation. Okay. So here we are able to see we got a 13-month hike in the inflation, which is really high. Though if you know the reasonable rate of whatever the nation is, if there is any nation between the cost of like 2% to 6% of inflation, then it is a, this is the feasible one, right? So the best one is about the midway, the beneficial amount will be of 4%. If it is going below 4, then it is not good, and even if it is going beyond 6, okay, it is too high inflation, so the economy will fall very easily. Okay, so maintaining the 4% is ideal one. Clear? So this you have to keep it in mind. Okay, so so what we are able to see here is, okay, inflation in the food and the beverages category climbed to 4% in April from 3.7% to 4%. So though it is 4%, it is a very good thing. The overall inflation should be 4%, but here we could able to see the food inflation alone itself have has a increase. Okay, so here we have to focus what. So the thing is like we are going to see why there is a hike and what is the problem. First concern, why there is a hike, it is because of the West Asian conflict. That is a major issue. Okay, so if you see, okay, I'll write it here, okay, just for understanding. So the major concern is West Asian conflict. So because of this, what India is facing? India is facing major thing, food inflation. Okay, how food inflation? Basically, we import what? The fertilizers. So the increase in the fertilizer, mostly from West Asia, right? So the increase in the transportation cost of fertilizers, increased price of the fertilizers itself impacting on our agri products. So if your brinjal, tomato or whatever the pulses are, okay, if the transportation cost and the input cost is being higher, so it will be impacting on your what? Your products, right? So when your products are, when your vegetables are higher, when you're going for any, that will be your food inflation, your sabzi and basic things, oil and everything prices are rise. That is food inflation. And apart from that, one more thing is about the dining culture. So dining out is about going to restaurants and hotels and eating. Here, not only the dining for restaurants, even the stay, okay, staying in the restaurants have been, hotels have been increase their prices. Okay, when we see the reason for dining out, one is higher fuel cost. Okay, this is the first one, because we are getting crude oil and we are refining and using it. Our LPG supply is also in a limited way right now. Okay, so the higher fuel cost. And second thing is about the transportation. When it comes to the transportation, please keep that in mind. Passenger transportation is bit cheaper comparative to the goods transportation. Okay, if I want to transport my agricultural products, or if I want to transport my other like vegetables or any other rice, pulses, okay, especially for goods, okay, whatsoever the goods is, for transportation the cost is higher. Okay, so the fuel cost, the transportation cost, and also the material cost also have been added in this. Okay, so that's how it is been making the food inflation, the retail inflation higher this time. Clear till now? Is there is any doubt? Shall we move further? Chaliye. So along with all these things, the supply disruption also have been added a pressure for our inflation. Okay. So when you see India's retail inflation increased to 3.5% in April 2026, we are able to see certain reasons. One which we mentioned, food become expensive because of the inputs for agricultural products. First thing, the transport. Okay, if I want to, the first one is fertilizers and everything. Okay, their cost is high, so it is impacting on my vegetables. And transporting my vegetables from the producer to the market, that is also what that is also added in this food expense only. Okay. Then second one is about raised price by restaurants due to hike in fuel cost that we have discussed, the LPGs and also many other things. Okay, transporting the goods from the market to their restaurants also, things are being added in the cost of the dishes only. So that is what happening. Okay. Okay, even more retail inflation तो हमें देख लिए हैं, and retail inflation is measured by CPI, consumer price index, right, which base year have also been revised. So from 2011 to 12, now we have the different year 23 to 24, right, if I am not wrong. So the revised base year also have to be checked here. Okay, so this is how you will be revising the previous current affairs also, keep that in mind. Okay, so in the retail inflation, what are all the things will be covered? First one is food, transport, housing, clothing, education and healthcare like kind of things will be considered in the retail inflation. This is for your understanding. Okay. Okay. So here if you see the data point, okay, Niti Aayog have given this. So this is a reliable data. You can even check in the Niti Aayog's website as well, and it have been given in the my bad, this newspaper also. Okay, so the National Statistical Office also have been given that. We are going to see one by one. Okay. So the food price have gone from 3.7 percentage to 4 percentage of inflation. The food price have been increased, and dining out have came from 2.9 to 4.2 percentage. Clearly it is visible we have a hike in the prices. Okay. So this is what the retail inflation that have been mentioned. So other than that, what we are going to see is reasons for inflation, global oil uncertainty, supply disruptions, because the Strait of Hormuz is the major global supply route, right, for the oil and the energy, but disruptions in the supply chain, it is affecting our prices. Clear? Then the third one is about the El Nino conditions. This is a major impact that we have. See, El Nino is nothing but there will be generally, okay, the warmer surface water, okay, that will be in the different side of the Pacific Ocean, opposite side of the Pacific Ocean. But what happens, it will be around, you can understand it, I'll show you. Okay. And okay. I think it is not visible for you guys, right? कोई बात नहीं. I'll explain you things. So normal year, what happens, the warmer surface water will be near the Australian region. Okay, but when it comes to the El Nino, it will be the water, this warmer surface water, it will be moving towards what, this Pacific region, from from Australian plate to, it will be moving towards the North and South America's area, where your equatorial and also the South Pacific area will be having the warmer surface water. So what it will be doing, it will be actually disturbing the India's monsoon pattern. Okay, the southwest monsoon and the western disturbance all will be impacted, and we will be having lesser rainfall in the El Nino. So that if there is in India, the drainage system generally basically upon the rainfall dependent agriculture. Okay, so if there is proper rainfall, we will be having a flourished agriculture. If there is less rainfall, it is like a kind of a scarcity for us in that particular period when it comes to the agriculture, because most of the Indian lands, Indian agriculture is rain fed. Okay, the irrigation system is better in Punjab area. Okay, and certain areas only we are having proper irrigation facilities. Otherwise, a major of the Indian agriculture is about rain fed agriculture. Clear? So that is why it is important for us. Okay. So what happens, this El Nino condition, the rise in the temperature of the Pacific, it affects our monsoon. Okay, because of no water or less water, what it happens, it affects our lower agricultural output. We cannot bring the agriculture output, right? So then because of that, the food inflation will be there, and even drought like conditions will also be happening because of the El Nino. So for this retail inflation, especially the food price increase, the El Nino is also another added factor with the supply chain disturbances and also the global oil uncertainty. Clear till now? So what have been observed so far, it is, okay, the lower transport inflation for passengers, okay, but when it comes to the goods, it is being hiked. Okay, the increased goods transport. And how inflation matters to India? First thing, if I am getting salary of 10,000 per month, okay, for example, and I am the breadwinner of my family, okay. So if I am the breadwinner of the family and this is my salary, my family will be having what? My family will be having the budget, so it will be affecting on my budget. So in 10,000, okay, मान लेते हैं 3,000 मेरी savings में चले जाते हैं, okay, and 3, okay, 2,000 again I'm using on another expenses. Okay, the major expense will be of 5,000. Shall we keep it as an example for my ration? Okay, groceries. So here, if this 5,000 I'm using for my ration, okay, here in this 5,000 I can get what? Ration for 1 month. Okay, and if there is any price hike in the pulses, grains, okay, or else the vegetables, this 5,000 would not be sufficient, because the rise in the price needs even more budget. So at that time every household will be having a budget issue, where either we have to put extra money or else we have to compromise on our nutrition and food. So that is the major thing why retail inflation matters to India when it comes to household budget. Okay, the earnings and my expenses, how far I am able to get satisfied with my salary for the need, for my expenditure. Okay, so that is what important for. Second thing is about the savings. See, savings pattern of India is higher. Okay, be it in gold, be it in bank, or be it with a individual or a private savings, India has a very good saving practices. Even earlier we have discussed about our cash reserves and everything have been in a disrupted way because of the saving pattern of India, right? So the same thing here, if I don't have money for my expenditure itself, then where will I go for my savings, right? So here, because of the price hike, now the 5,000 rupees ration will be available for me in what? 6,000. Okay. So per month I need 6,000 for my ration, where that extra 1,000 will be coming from my savings, right? So my savings will be going down. So eventually people will not be having the money, so it will be slow down the economical growth, because if I don't have money, I will be spending very less, and the economy will be getting very less money. Okay? So this is how the inflation is affecting the household, also the savings pattern, and that is indirectly impacting on whom? The economical factor of India. Clear? Then the purchasing power, where we have talked about, if I don't have money, I cannot buy the products. And second thing, if the prices are very higher, okay, if I am not affordable, if it is not affordable for me, then I cannot buy it, right? So the purchasing power of people will go down. So for that also inflation impacts, and also the economic growth that we talked about. When the consumption rate is going down, the expenditure is going down, the economic growth will be slow down. Clear? So that is what the major impact that has been done by inflation. Okay. So here if you see, the multiple times we have seen cost push inflation, because of the increased price in the production, the product price will be going higher. See, product price will go higher certain conditions. When the huge demand is there, okay, the product price will go up, right? And when there is input cost, the production cost itself is higher, the price will go higher, right? So when it comes to the cost push inflation, it is about the increased production cost, that is what creating the cost push inflation when it comes to the retail products. Clear till now? Is there any doubt? Please let me know, otherwise we will move to the next topic. Okay, chaliye. Next one is about managing coexistence in human wildlife conflict zones. So if you see, it is not new to India, not only India, certain countries they don't have, they do have what? The major wildlife conflict. Okay, Botswana, Namibia, all these areas, Finland, okay, Nepal and Bhutan, most of the countries are having this wildlife human conflict. If you see why it is not, to be frank, to be honest, okay, it is not the exact reason wildlife are coming to the livelihood of habitat of humans. No, it is not like that. The problem here is increased urbanization and increased population. Okay, the exploring of the new places and new different settlements, the fragmented settlements, it is creating the need for more space where humans are being pushed towards wildlife area. You're understanding it? We are moving towards wildlife habitat, not the animals are coming to us. So we are going to see in this article, they have told us particular certain reasons, causes, and what are all the schemes and acts that are already available in India, and what can be done, from where we can learn. All these things here they have been mentioned. Okay, so now we are going to see what is a major conflict. So the major conflict, if you see human wildlife conflict, first one is about habitat destruction. The problem here is deforestation we are doing. Okay, the resorts, the hotels, okay, all these new constructions are being done in the hill stations, okay, and also along with our forest, the internal forest and everywhere. Okay, so the habitat distortion of the wildlife is creating a major conflict. First thing. Second thing is about changing land use. So here we are using for agriculture. Okay, so agriculture, hence it's not clear. कौन सी वाली आपको क्लियर नहीं हुई साईश्री? इफ यू टेल मी, एंड ऑफ द session we will discuss that. Okay, so the changing land use here is about, okay, we are sometimes settling and sometimes we are doing agriculture. So all these things are somewhere or the other we are carving the wildlife habitat and we are using it for human beings use, right? And the third one is about the climate change, where the water is not present for them, the wildlife animals, so they are getting into it, right? And okay, I'm good, Rishi, thank you so much. Okay, so the climate change, where the food is not available for them because of wildfire or something, they are losing their habitat, they are losing their food, okay, and also along with that water scarcity is also there for them. So all these things, impacts of the climate change is also creating a human wildlife conflict, because of these reasons the animals are getting into human habitat. Okay, then the increased pressure of human on forest and the ecosystem, which we talked about, all those settlements, the increased settlements in these areas. Earlier in forest used to be there the people who are very close with the nature, the tribal people, or the people who are ancestrally who are staying inside the forest. But now, because of the urbanization and the huge population, we are moving towards larger area. So that is also one of a major issue. Okay, so what this article is completely saying about us, we have to work upon coexistence, like both the living being have to be there, even humans have to be there and also the wildlife have to be there. We have to share the resources equitably and we have to make sure none of the section is being affected. Okay, so that is what the suggestion that have been given from this article. Okay, so talking about the conflicts, first one is wild animals damage the crops. Okay, so in search of the food, they are not getting enough food in the they are not getting the enough food in what the forest area. So, and we are also entering their border areas, right? We are also entering their habitat. So to in search of food, generally agriculture is also done in their area, right? So in search of food they are coming. मान लीजिए, this is forest cover, okay, and this is urban side. Okay, so due to higher pressure, what is happening? So I'm erasing it and it extends till this. But what animals will be doing? It is their part only. What they will become, the animals will be coming for their food, shelter, and also water. So we cannot complain them for the things, right? So what it is happening? We are doing agriculture in this area, and in search of food, generally they used to come. So they are coming to our agriculture crops and they are damaging it in two reasons. One is it is their habitat, and otherwise they don't have food, so they are coming to our place. So this is a major thing. Second thing is about attacks livestock. So if you see, the elephants and wild boars not only affects the like these kind of attacks on crops, and otherwise leopard, tigers, okay, cheetah, all these things are attacking livestock like dogs and joby livestock, cattle, goat, all these things for food only they are attacking it. Okay? And the third one is about the injury to people, elephant attacks. In the Western Ghats area, if you see, there is a lot of what the elephant attacks. Odisha, Karnataka, all these areas they have Tamil Nadu. These places they have higher elephant attacks been identified. Okay? So that is what the major issue here. So major conflicts will be to human beings are this. Okay? So humans are increasingly occupying and fragmenting the wildlife habitats. This we have shown. So now we are going to see, okay, the how the habitat are being fragmented for the wildlife. So wildlife, first one is deforestation for infrastructure, for bridges, highways, roads, okay, sometimes the resorts, all these infrastructure plans are being resulting in deforestation. Okay? For mining also we are doing it, and the settlements, which is urbanization and the agriculture expansion, which we already discussed. Okay? The second thing is about declining of natural prey, which where we talked about the tigers, cheetah and leopards are attacking livestock because of there is no natural prey at their place. Okay, in the forest area, if there is very less survival chances in the food or water, what happens eventually, the animals will be eventually die, or else they will be shifting to another places, deer, buffalo and all, bisons and all these things. So if there is no prey is available for me, what I will do, I'll go and seek for other areas, right? So that is what happening with us. And third one is climate change, where we talked about the less availability of the food, right? So major thing is about the survival response and also the ecological imbalances, where we are intruding too much into the wildlife area. Okay? And apart from that, we not only India, as I have told you, Botswana, Namibia and also Nepal, Bhutan, Finland, these people are also facing this kind of wildlife human conflict. But in Botswana and Namibia, what they have did is community based natural resource management they have introduced. So if you see there, the compensation will be given, okay, if there is any loss of life or loss of crops, okay, they will be getting the benefit of the revenue, where the tourism will be shared. The people who are inside the community which is staying inside the forest, they will be getting what? The income because of the tourism. The revenue from the tourism will be shared with the indigenous people. First thing. Second, they participate in the conservation programs because, see, the tribes knows better than anybody else about their own ecosystem. Okay? So when the if you see, people who are doing agriculture for years and years, for from their ancestral time, they know when the elephants come and what is the time they will be coming and at what type of crops they will be attracted. All these things, ecological understanding is there with whom? Those tribes or the people who live there for ancestral time. Okay? So that is what the major thing we have to hear is, if they are participating in the conservation programs, they know how to do it properly. Okay, so having a better knowledge, applying it in a better way, that will be giving us what? A better result. Okay, when it comes to the next one, they have the economic benefits also, like they will be given with multiple job opportunities as well. So it is encouraging them to have a better resource management. Okay, but when it comes to India, okay, India's schemes, like we have compensation scheme. Okay, if there is any loss of life or loss of crops, we are giving the compensation. Solar fencing. Okay, now right now they have taken out the electric fencing because of the certain elephants and other animals are getting electric shock. Though it is very sometimes it is very minimal shock have been observed. The implementation, like the rules have been set for minimal electrification of fencing, but people out of fear they are increasing the electrical supply and we are losing the animals also. So here better for that we are going for solar fencing. Here in monsoon time solar fencing will not be useful for that time, right? Because the solar fencing will be trapping the heat and converting it into the energy, and in the night we can use it. In case of monsoon or winter there will be no proper sunlight and we will not be able to get the proper output of that energy. So that is also one of a major issue here. And we have early warning systems, and apart from that we have wildlife protection laws and everything. So Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 and also this project Elephant and Tiger, the corridors that have been set, ecological corridors. So animals generally use a regular pattern, okay, so they will be coming on their own regular pattern. The corridors they are using to connect with the areas and everything, they will be using one particular route only. So that corridors, the elephant corridors, the leopard corridors, all these have to be specifically mentioned so that people will not be getting their habitat in those particular corridors or nearby to that corridors. Clear? This is what we have. So apart from that we have tracking system of animals. We know the count, how much animals are there and how they are doing with their health and everything, that is also there. So along with that, despite having India's this much schemes and laws, what is happening? What is happening? Why it is still persistent? This human wildlife conflict is why still persistent? If you see the reasons, it is because of the implementation problem. Okay, so the major thing is about there is no coordination between the people and the government. Okay, delay process in the compensation payment, and also there is, as I have told you, electric fencing, electrification of the fencing. The government says like if it is 2%, people out of fear they are keeping it 5 to 10%. Eventually this lack of implementation and the poor coordination, that is keep on recurring, giving the recurring effect of this human and wildlife conflict. Okay, so the policy implementation have to be very strong. Okay, so unless and until it is strong, it is impossible for any of the government to maintain the balanced ecological systems. Okay, and also please read about Wildlife Protection Act and all these project elephant, I think project elephant and tiger. Okay, so all these are very important, read about it. So what is the, okay, they have told what and all are the issues and why, what is the causes of all these human effect and ecological effect because of the conflict, right? So now we are going to see what is the way forward, what is the solution for it. First one is about the scientific planning. Okay, if this is the hill area, okay, and if this is, let me use different. So if this is the natural area, okay, a mountain could be said as a hill or something. Okay, in this area humans, the plains, okay, and here water resources are coming. The drawing is bad, but please off कीजिए, ठीक है. So these are like urban area or semi-urban area, ठीक है. So if this is the area where we are having what increased population, so we need some more areas. Okay, so by intruding into this area, what we have to keep that in mind, the scientific planning. Okay, so it should not be colliding with the corridors of those animals, and also we have to make sure those animals are getting enough water and their food intake. Okay, so that is major thing. And apart from that, if we want the area for the cultivation, we can go for like the sustainable cultivation, where we can share the resources along with the wildlife, like No issues about drawing, ma'am. Okay, okay. Okay. So if this is a mountain, okay, I can, this area, till this area, the animal can use it. Okay, then here we will be having a buffer space, and after that we will be having our cultivation. So the resource sharing have to be taken so that the niche will not be lost for any of the animals. That is one thing. And the coexistence based conservation that we have to take in care. Then the landscape ecology, we should understand the landscape, and based upon that we have to give the regulation for settlement, agriculture, whatsoever the need is. Okay, the community participation is very much important, where common we have to go for another thing, which is the population control also. So the rising population control will be requiring what? The rising, they will be requiring higher placements, right, settlements. So controlling the population and keeping the rural side more engaged than the this forest side have to be taken into the consideration. So these are the way forward, the solutions that have been suggested in this article. Clear? Shall we go to the next one? I hope it is very clear. I hope it is clear. The crux of it is, we have a problem with human. There is a conflict between humankind and the wildlife. The problem basically, we are expanding. The humankind are expanding because of the urbanization and also other things. Okay, settlements, agriculture, and everything was a major concern. Because of this, the wildlife is losing their habitat. They are losing their prey and the food, and also they are losing their count also. So what they are coming, as there is no proper resource for them for their survival, they are coming to the resources where it is available. Okay, so it is seems like they are intruding into human space, but humans are intruding into their spaces, animal spaces. So that is what the major. So we cannot give up on animals, and as well as we can give up on we cannot give up on the human beings. So instead we are going to have a coexistence and a balanced ecosystem. Controlled population, controlled urbanization, and proper scientific planning, and understanding the corridors and the lifestyle of the wildlife animals, that is very much important for us. Okay, that is what in that particular that is what important in our particular article. Okay, clear? Let's go to the next one. It is about the data and justice. Okay, so the data and justice, where the judiciary will be inculcating AI and other things in the judiciary to improve the efficiency, transparency, okay, to give the immediate justice. Okay, there should be no delay in the justice. So this is the major concern. If you understand the pending cases of the courts, it is huge, right? Why it is the pending cases are huge? If you see, the lot of pending cases is because of the lot of paperworks, duplicacy is there. Okay, the appealing in different courts, okay, getting their case data and everything, it is like time taking, and also lot of paperworks are there. Okay, it is creating hurdles to complete one particular case. So what now judiciary have adopted AI mechanisms when it comes to sorting the cases, and also keeping the data in the record. Okay, if I am going to any district court first, and if I am not if I am not satisfied with the judgment that district court given me, I'll be going to the high court, and apart from that I'll be going to Supreme Court. So these appeals will be having the judgments of these appeals will be consolidated in one particular place, where it is like a kind of a cloud of data. Okay, the cloud storage will be there. So whenever one case is particularly taken into the consideration, taken into the hearing, so I will be knowing any of the judge, whomsoever it is, they can see the causes, the petitioners, okay, the parties involved, the complete history of the case will be in one particular area. So for improving this efficiency and keeping the transparency and data consolidated, we are using this AI mechanism. This is the concern of it. Okay, here they have given the advantages and disadvantages of inculcating the AI procedures. So first we are going to see theme, which is digitization in the judiciary should not be harm privacy and the fairness. So in this article they have clearly mentioned that, see, we are going for digitization, it is completely fine, it should be a tool, it should be a assisting tool for the judges, and the decision making based upon the decision making and the judgments should not be taken by this AI tools. So that is a major thing. So the fairness and also the privacy should not be harmed. We are going to see why it is privacy and the fairness have been mentioned. Eventually we will be decoding it. Okay, and the second crux is about the technology should reduce the inequality. Okay, so because of repeated nature of crime have been taken into the consideration in one particular community or something, it should not be biased. Basically the answer is it should not be biased. Okay, then the third one is about the human constitutional values must remain supreme. The data based solutions or the suggestions alone should not be the primary one. It should be actually the human values should be taken into the consideration. The major decision or the judgment should be based upon what? The human constitutional values. Okay, so this is what the major crux of this article. Okay, now we are going to see what are all the issues in bringing AI in the judiciary system. First one, misuse of personal data. As I have told you, if I am consolidating all these data in one particular area where I can understand what everything, like who have petition, who have filed this case, who have inquired this case, okay, and also what is the reason, what is the cause, whichever the courts they have, like district courts, high courts, wherever they have appealed, okay, the evidences they have filed in those high courts and district courts, everything will be consolidated and kept in one place. So here the picture and any other personal data can be accessed and it will be available for any it will be available in a common space, right? So that is a major issue. So anybody could matlab those in the judiciary system, it is easily accessible for them. So there may be a misuse of personal data. Even the opposite person will be using the data. So that is a major issue. Second thing is about the digital exclusion. So digital exclusion here is not everybody. See, this is about not only bringing the AI into for the transparency and everything, people able to see the status of their cases also. Okay, so what is the judgment, what is the evidence we have submitted so far, how much hearings we have gone there, okay, how much vaida have been taken there, all these things will be mentioned there. So the problem here is who is having the digital knowledge and the exposure to digitization, they will be getting the resources. Those who are from the rural area or the elderly person who are out of this digital era, okay, they will not be able to use this, they will not be getting benefited by this. So the digital exclusion is also there. That is major concern. And third one is about the algorithmic bias. Here algorithmic bias is nothing but if 10 cases, okay, 10 cases have a similar nature of, like, if any one particular community, let's not keep stigmatizing or something, let's keep a community A, okay. So if there is 10 cases and that is on all those 10 cases or 9 out of the 10 cases, this particular A community people who have involved or who have been a part of that that case, okay, not the crime accused or something, okay, instead we will be saying these people are having, like, the community A people are having a part of it, maybe under the investigation or something, okay. So the bail have been repeatedly the bail have not been properly given, or the bail have been rejected for them, for this particular community A. So out of 10 cases, if 9 cases have been denied with this bail for this community A, what it will be happening? The 10th case, the algorithm, this AI algorithm will be taking into the consideration and it will be giving the same kind of suggestion to deny the bail for them, irrespective of understanding the human values, what is the circumstances. So that will be missing, sir. That is what the algorithmic biasness. Okay. And third, next one is about the privacy violations. So if there is these kind of personal details and everything has been given, state's surveillance will be higher in this judiciary matters. Okay, so somewhere or the other the privacy will be intruded by the state institutions, and unequal access to justice, which we have talked about the digital exclusion. Okay, so that is what the major issues that they have given here. Okay, so the crux of it is AI should assist judges, not replace judicial reasoning or the human decision making. It should not be taken into the hands of AI for the decision making and also the judicial reasoning. Okay, then so we are going to see what is the mechanism that have been brought by. So if it is AI, we cannot say no, like completely AI is a huge form. We are going to be more specific into it. What is actually the technology they are bringing it. First one is about, there are two different initiatives. First initiative is about one case, one data, where unified data platform will be there. So for one particular case, wherever it have been appealed, okay, or else whatever the number of proceedings have been done, it is not at all matter. It will be considered as one data identity. Okay, so one case is equal to one data only. There will be no multiple different data will be kept. Okay, so it is the unified data platform. For one case, it will be one consolidated data. Okay, so the different evidences could be provided in the high court or in the district court. So all will be compiled and it will be kept as a one particular data for one case. So what it generally works upon, it links all the records related, okay, the FIR and also the evidences, and apart from FIR and evidences, certain like what we will be saying for it, actually those written format, okay, all these things will be kept in the records. First thing. Second thing, it connects appeal, where we will be having the better coordination between the court, right? So there will be no delay in the understanding the case nature and everything, what happened previously. So that delaying process will be erased, and I will be having a better coordination and reduced duplicacy. So the number of pending cases because of the duplicacy will be reduced. And also next one is about easier tracking. So faster tracking will be there. As a common person, okay, if I have filed a case or anybody else have filed a case against me, okay, I would be able to see what is the status of my case, when is the next hearing, how much hearings have been done, okay, all these things I can track it very easily and fastly. Okay. Then the next one is about the improved judicial statistics and case management. So for record keeping and also the data, for the management and the administration process, it will be helping us. Okay? A clean, settled and a consolidated data, it can be used by judiciary system also, and it can be accessible by the common people who are in the part of that case. Okay? So it is beneficial for both the people. Okay. The next one, the second initiative is about Shayak. Okay. The first one is about, it is a AI based chatbot. Okay, where people can ask their frequently asked questions. Okay, they can see, they can get the answers in the Supreme Court website. It is available. Okay. Okay. Then the people can check case status. Okay, and case list also, and the judgments or the orders that have been provided. If already the judgment have been given for a land dispute, okay, me and my neighborhood having a dispute between bifurcating the land, okay, that is a major issue. If my judgment is already with me, if I want to sell my property and the opposite, my neighbor is creating a problem, I can show that people, I can show my the person who is coming to take my land, I can show them, see, this is the judgment, these are all the proceedings have been done, it is very clear from our side, this much land only, it is ours, and they are creating unnecessary excess. So it will be easy for me to sell my land also, right? So this is what I can access the judgments and orders very easily. Okay. Okay. And apart from that, the judicial information will be available with whom? The other common people as well. Okay. So the advantages in reduced dependency, we don't want to depend upon the codes. Okay, and the second one is about the improved efficiency. There will be no delays, very clear cut, and consolidated data will be there. Better data system that we talked about, the database, and the transparency where party A of the case, party B of the case, and also the judiciary system can have the transparent things. Okay. Then concerns here is about, which we have already talked, the privacy, data protection, and also the digital governance. Digital governance is about states, surveillance, and the privacy is about photos, evidences should not be leaked. Okay. So yes, we will be coming to other things also. Just wait. Issue digital divide, where people who are not having the access to digital platforms, they will be excluded. So that is a major thing. And the next one is about the AI biased automated discrimination, which we talked about. What the based upon the algorithm, based upon past experiences or the earlier cases, the decision making will be based upon those references. So that is the biasness here we are talking about. Other initiatives, SUVAS and SUPES, which Venkatri have told us. First one is about the SUVAS. It is Supreme Court Vidik Anuvad, where the translation of the judgments and the proceedings in the regional languages, in the multiple languages, it is available. And SUPES is about assisting the legal research. Okay? So that is what the major other initiatives, earlier initiatives by Supreme Court in when it comes to the digitalizing the judiciary. Okay? So read about these two initiatives and also have a look into it. Okay? Next one is about how India is governing its water resources. If you see, to be honest, India is having a well fed water at times. Okay? So the problem here is about the management and the supply. So the poor governance is the governance and the infrastructure management have to be taken into the consideration. This is a major issue that we are facing here. Okay? So globally, if you see, it is around like 4%. Let me show you here. Excuse me. India's water crisis is often described as one of the scarcity, yet a deeper reality is a paradox, where the water scarcity is not a major issue. The resources management, how we are dividing the water and how we are using the water. So water management is a basic issue here. Okay? So we are going to see how much water we generally have and how much water we are using for what purpose. Okay? So Niti Aayog have told us, okay, India's hydrological arithmetic reveals striking contradictions. The country supports nearly 1/5 of the world's population, but has access to only about 4% of global freshwater resources. According to the Niti Aayog Composite Water Management Index, around 600 million people face high to extreme water stress. Okay, we are just going to understand why there is a extreme thing. Okay, so there is a decline in the per capita water usage also. Earlier, before independence, it was like 5,000 cubic meters of water per person per year. But now in today's condition, because of the water stress, what we are receiving, it is around like 1,400 cubic meters per person per year. So if you see the difference between 5,000 to 1,400, it is a huge one. It is not a very small one. Okay? So that we are going to see what is the issue with all these things. Okay? First one is about the poor governance and the inefficient management, and also the water crisis. This article majorly talks about the water crisis, institutional framework, okay, the government schemes that have been provided, and along with the groundwater storage and what are all the systems that India have. Okay, and what is a sustainable water management. All these things they have discussed. We are going to see one by one. First one is annual rainfall. If you see, okay, annually we are getting 4 million cubic meters of water. Okay, and in that we are actually usable is 1,100 billion cubic meters of water. So out of 4 billion cubic meters, we are able to use only this much only. Other rest are like we cannot be using it. Okay, we cannot be able to use it. The nature of the water will be like that, too salty, too salinity, all these things. Okay, so the storage, why it is available only this much? Because of poor storage. Okay, and also the evaporation conditions, floods at times, which is making the fresh water, the usable water also, like it mingled with other drainage water and everything, so we cannot use that. Okay, and uneven rainfall and also the infrastructure procedures are the major issues with water management with us. Okay, so we will be seeing the major crux of it is about declining per capita water, where we have saw 5000 cubic meters to right now nearly we are getting what 1400 cubic meters per person per year. So there is a decline in that, and the reasons for all those declined per capita water is, first one, over dependence on groundwater, submersible motor. We are using, we are like keep on fetching water from the groundwater, and there is a groundwater table is keep on going deteriorated. We are not restoring the water. That is a major issue. See, if you are using something, okay, okay, precipitation is there. This is my house. And if I have water harvesting system, this is the pit. Okay, so the rainwater that have been collected here, okay, the rainwater that have been collected here will be keep on going into the rainwater harvesting. So here in the water table I will be having water, right? But because of what? Because of the tar roads and the nanoparticles that have been occupied in our ecosystem, and the plastics and also many other things, because of that and lack of storage of water, what we are losing, this rainwater harvesting is not happening, and we are keep on sucking out what? This the groundwater. So the groundwater table is keep on deteriorating rather than the restoration. So we have to go for the restoration method as well. So first one is about over dependence on groundwater, and the agriculture dominates water use. Here agriculture wants fresh water. 80 to 85% of the India's fresh water is going for irrigation, especially the rice cultivation, which is dominant rice cultivation, where we all know for 1 kg of rice we need 5000 liters of water, right? So that is a huge consumption by the agriculture, and major things goes to them only, due to the irrigation process and everything. We are redirecting the river water. Okay, the river water is majorly goes for what? The agriculture. So for other purposes we are getting very less water. Second thing, third one is about the uneven rainfall distribution, western disturbances, El Nino conditions. Okay, sometimes like the floods and flash floods, because of that the water is coming into unusable nature, so we are losing out in there. And the fourth one is about institutional fragmentation, where the sanitation is taken care by somebody, the river water management is taken care by different tribunal or something, distribution is taken by different agency. So the multiple and fragmented administration gives the poor coordination and also the overlapping responsibilities, where if there is any implementation like Jal Jeevan Mission or something, it is not properly implemented because of this lack of coordination and the poor responsibilities being shared. Okay, so that is what the major issue here. So if you see water governance, we have certain schemes, okay, under the Ministry of Jal Shakti, water resources, and it is maintaining the water resources, okay, from where the water is coming, what amount of water is coming, okay, and also the sanitation, reusing, everything has been taken care by whom? The Ministry of Jal Shakti. Okay, and apart from that, Central Water Commission, who will be responsible for the river basins, okay, the flood control, all these things will be taken care by Central Water Commission. When it comes to Central Groundwater Board, they will be taking care of the complete assessment. Earlier how much and how much has been used, okay, and for how long we will be having the water table, for how many years this water will be sustainable for us. All these things assessment will be taken by whom? Central Groundwater Board. Okay, so that is what the important thing. See, whatever the water we are getting, right, the only major thing we have to focus on is like how we are using that water, how sustainably we are using the water. That is a major thing is needed. Okay, by diversifying the waters for households and by giving the household the water supply per day, how much hour the water should be given, the sanitation, the reusing of the water, okay, the recycling of the water, water economy have to be taken into the consideration. All these are important from this article. Just read about this article, you will get a proper and good idea about it. Okay, moving on, next comes our India's worker population ratio has climbed since 2022. Here if you see, we have a good employment and the participation of workforce. People who are seeking work also have been increased actively, but the problem here is the gender divide and the demographic divide is still persistent. We are going to see what it is. Okay, if you see in this table, okay, the labor force participation by in the rural area, okay, in the rural area male is around 58.8%, and when it comes to the urban it is like 59.7, but when it comes to the female there is a hike in whom in the rural employment, and when it comes to the urban side it is very less, 22.2. So we are going to see why there is a gender gap, and also what is the ratio of educated persons are being employed, okay, and apart from that what is making the urban employment, especially when it comes to female, what is the disadvantages, what is the factors that are slowing down the women's working culture, that we are going to see now. Okay, just see this chart. Okay, we are going to talk about certain things. So the crux of the article is about increased worker participation. Okay, worker participation is who is working and also actively seeking the work. Okay, and increased female participation, especially in the rural area. Okay, where majorly this rural employment have been given a hike for women when it comes to the self-employment. Okay, they are self-employed in agriculture, livestock grazing, and also many other things. Okay, so that is what the major thing. And when it comes to the urban rural difference, urban female participation is less, and when it comes to the male participation in urban, it is high. So we are able to see the gender divide and also the demographic divide. Differences are there. Okay. So when it comes to youth unemployment and the educated unemployment, youth unemployment is 9.9%, literally where it is like around 3% of the overall India's unemployment. Okay, so this is a major concern that we have to take into the consideration. Okay, and the educated unemployment have been marked as 6.5 and also 7.2. We will be going one by one. Okay, so this is the major data that we are going to discuss from this article. Okay, great. So when it comes to the rural, it is 6.5, and when it comes to urban, it is 7.10. So the labor force participation rate, okay, so here we are having that, okay, the participation of labor force statistics by National Statistical Office. This gives the rates of employment, how much unemployment in India, okay, and also it gives the participation ratio and the workforce trends also, like in what kind of area, what kind of a work major population are being participating. All these things will be taken into the consideration. And earlier it was quarterly they were giving the data, but now they have changed their publishing of the data. Now they provide the data on a monthly basis. This may useful in your prelims for your what the statement based question. Okay, so this is important. And labor force participation rate generally is about 44.9%, which is a good one. And also in the work participation ratio, it is like 43.5%. Okay. So now we are going to see the unemployment rate. In the recent times by Niti Aayog, we are able to see, and NSO we are able to see the unemployment rate is 3.1 percentage. Okay. So earlier it was there was a reverse. There is high increase in the unemployment, where from 3.1 to we have moved to 3.6%. The issues here is about the informalization. Majorly unorganized works have been taken care. Okay, there is a jobless growth also in India, and the major gender gap. So if you see why the gender gap is there, okay, male and female. Okay, नीचे हो गया, कोई बात नहीं. So in male there is a higher employment rate when it comes to rural and also in urban. Comparatively, urban areas are getting major employment because some people are moving from rural to urban. So the urbanization is providing with much construction works, infrastructure works, and also other job opportunities. Okay, so people are moving towards rural area to urban when it comes to the male. When it comes to the female, the rural employment is higher and the urban employment is reducing, because the advantages for rural is, as I have told you, it is majorly of self-employed. Okay, it is majorly of self-employment, the livestock, the agriculture. Though they are getting a very low wages, still they are going for the work. Otherwise they cannot move their household, they cannot run their household in a proper way. So that is a major thing. Okay, and the second thing is about why there is a decrease in the urban working ratio when it comes to the female. The infrastructural challenges, okay, the payment, the salaries and the allowances, and apart from that, the promotions, which is called the glass ceiling. Okay, and the holiday and compensation. Okay, when it comes to the menstrual period, when it comes to the maternity period, all these time, some companies and some areas only they are giving the benefits for them. Otherwise their women are not given with what the benefits of holidays and the paid leaves and everything. Okay, so these are some of the factors which is reducing the urban female workforce participation. Okay, so we have to work upon these things. Read about this, you will get a proper idea. Okay, then moving on, the next one is about China. China's foreign minister said to skip BRICS meeting in India. So this time India is chairing the BRICS meeting. Okay, and what is BRICS? Brazil, Russia, India, China, and these people, right? So now along with that we have BRICS plus also, where Egypt, okay, and certain countries like UAE, Iran, all Indonesia, these people are being engaged in this BRICS. Okay, South Africa. Okay, so these are the major group, and now it have become BRICS plus. Their motive is to have a coordination, okay, for the global tensions. They will be giving the solutions in a cooperative way, again like kind of a cooperative way, where opposite to US dominance or US things. Okay, majorly they will be having the major issue of like major aim to have a coordination with the developing countries and along with that they will be focusing on whom? They will be contradicting with the Western dominances. Okay, so this is the major issue. So what happened here is China have denied, now they are not able to attend the meet in when it comes to India because of their priorities. The issue here is about, we are able to see what is the China's priority when it comes to this BRICS meeting. Okay, so for them other meetings are very important, and this imbalance, okay, this one particular country is moving out of this meeting, that will be showing what there is a imbalance, and it will be actually creating a disturbance inside the BRICS itself. Okay, there is lot of misunderstandings and the difference of opinions between the BRICS itself, but eventually it will be what? It will be dealt, but for that every members have to be present there. Okay, as a developing country, we need BRICS summit to be, BRICS meet have to be done on time. Otherwise, if there is no unity, then we will not be able to oppose the Western dominances. Okay, so if you see India chairing one particular international forum, it is very important for India. Apart from that, it will be giving the global presence of for India, and also it will be showing its leadership qualities also. So just read about it. Let's see, this article is majorly about nothing. The China is not able to attend the meet. Okay, so just read about India and BRICS and member countries. So I have told you, right? Apart from that, just read about like how important for India the this BRICS summit is. Okay, then moving on to the next one is about the appointment of CBI director. So here Rahul Gandhi claimed that I didn't have, as a leader of opposition party, I didn't have much roles to do with it. I have been denied with the responsibility, so that is what the major issue. So whenever the keep that in mind, CBI is not a statutory body. Okay, it just have a special provisions from Delhi police. Okay, so that is what the major things. Delhi Special Police Establishment Act of 1976. So based upon that only their CBI is operating. Okay, and the appointment of the CBI director generally will be by 3-member committee, where the Prime Minister will be the chairperson, the opposition leader of the opposition party, and also the Chief Justice of India. In case if he is not able to do so, then he will be recommending a Supreme Court judge. CJI will be recommending a Supreme Court judge, and they will be working along with it. So with the recommendations, they will be assessing the records and the candidates. Then they will be finalizing somebody based upon the sincerity, superiority in their, and also the experiences and the excellences of their work. Okay, based upon that they will select a candidate. So generally the tenure will be 2 years, but based upon special recommendations, and if there is any particular reason for them, then it will be extended beyond, it will be extended to 5 years also. Okay, so CBI have been established in 1963. Okay, based upon the recommendation of Santanam committee. So this is a major thing that we needed from this article. Please skip Rahul Gandhi's statement and everything. You just want to know who will be the who will be in the recommendation committee. Okay, 3-member committee. So that's it for the day. I know it is a very long and a huge session today, but we had a lot of topics and we had to discuss many things, so that's why it was too long. And I will see you all in a while. Okay, take care, all the very best, and if you have any doubt, please let us know. If there is no doubt, then we can wind up the session. Is there anybody else who is having the doubt, or shall we wind up the session? Good to see you back, Avya. I'm really glad. Any other doubts? There is no doubt, then we can wind up the session. MCQ. MCQ अगर मैं लेके आए तो, if I would have brought the MCQ, people have gone mad. But see, if you want MCQ, Okay, don't worry. I'll bring it tomorrow based upon the CBI appointment, statement based MCQ, and also we will have a MCQ on the one case, one data, and also the SUAS and SUPAS. Okay, don't worry. Based upon that, I'll bring you different MCQs. I'm trying to bring it most of PYQs because that will be more relevant, right? So don't worry, Tatri, I'll bring some MCQs for you. I don't want to discourage you people by skipping the articles. Okay, so that's why I didn't bring the MCQ today, but we will make it like we will bring it into the habit. Okay, don't worry. Okay, I till now I didn't get any doubts, so I consider this as everything is clear. In case in future if you have any doubt, please drop it in the comment section. We will read it and we will give you back the comments. Okay, so till then, take care and please keep reading. Please keep ensuring that you are gaining the knowledge, because everything is like education is everything. Okay, education is not about only mugging up things and writing in your paper. It is not like that. Experiencing other people's pain and also many other things. Okay, that is what important for us. So feeling the humankind's getting the humankind's feeling, understanding their problem and solving as a bureaucrat, that is what the real education is. Not only as a bureaucrat, but as educated person, we are going to provide the solutions for it. Okay, so keep reading. Thank you so much. Thank you, Venkatri, and thank you, Rishidhar.